Sometimes I wonder, why must people take up so many parking spots? It's not like they're driving an 18-wheeler tractor trailer. Just because that was the last spot doesn't mean it's required to park there. My second pet peeve is when people stick their chewed up gum under their desks. Lastly, I cannot stand it when people are extremely loud and noisy. Hello, I am Audrey Bazal, and I currently do not have a major because of being a senior in high school. Prepare as I give a few more details of my pet peeves. Let me start off with the first pet peeve, double parking. This greatly sets off my nerves for several reasons. When people park their huge car over 2 lanes, causing no possible way for another driver to park next to them, especially if they are driving in front of me in a parking lot about to pull in to park. Then all of a sudden, they do the absolute worst parking job I've ever seen in my life, parking in 2 parking spaces. And it's even worse if those were the last parking spots available. What am I supposed to do now? Park in the grass? That seemed like the only option now. This is quite rude because they're unnecessarily parking, using 2 perfectly good parking spots. Why would someone do such a frustrating thing? Do they think their vehicle is more special than everyone else's? Why can't they just be considerate and park in a single parking spot between 2 white lines like any other reasonable driver would do? This raises my blood pressure to the roof. My second pet peeve is when people stick their nasty, slimy, chewed up gum under their desks. For example, a student will be chewing gum until the flavor has completely disappeared. Then they are too lazy to get out of their seat and throw it in the trash can, so they decide to stick it under their desks. This is because it was too difficult for them to walk a few steps to the trash can. This is obviously unsanitary and most definitely provokes my nerves and grosses me out. Why can't they just wait until a trash can is present? Or put the gum back in the wrapper it originally came from in the first place? For instance, one of my classmates used the excuse of her being too sleepy to get up and throw her gum away. So she decides to stick it under her desk. Most people would assume it is because of the lack of sleep last night, playing video games or looking at their phone till 2 o'clock in the morning. At least they do not throw their gum on the floor to cause someone with brand new white sneakers to step completely on it, ruining the bottom of their shoes. My last and final pet peeve is when people are loud. It gets on my nerves when I am doing schoolwork on the kitchen table and I can overhear my mom on the phone laughing, or when she talks to one of my siblings very loudly. Also, when me and my family or friends are at a restaurant trying to have an interesting conversation, but overhearing another family's conversation from across the restaurant. Another example would be when neighbors playing their obnoxious country music 2 houses away, when also a teenage boy is playing the drums with his windows completely rolled down, letting the whole neighborhood hear his noisy drum set, especially if they live right next to my house. This causes me to lose my train of thought if I'm in the middle of schoolwork or talking on the phone with one of my friends. One time, my neighbors woke me up at 4 o'clock in the morning because they were playing extremely loud music. In conclusion, I would suggest to be considerate and not park in 2 parking spots. This is because it is courteous to other drivers to park. I would also suggest to people sticking gum under their desks to find a trash can. No teacher appreciates scraping dried up gum all over the bottom of the desks. Lastly, for the ones who choose to be noisy and loud, it is extremely disrespectful to the neighbors around them. I desperately need quality study and sleep time. Thank you.